All right, welcome in, ladies and gentlemen. We are starting today's stream here in a bit. Let me just do the transition on here. All right, welcome in, everybody. We are here talking about today's agenda. Today's agenda, obviously, we're going to talk about one of tech still, and we're going to get into motherboards. Today's topic will be motherboards. So, you're gonna learn how, like, pretty much what is a motherboard and why is it important to get the right one that suits you, because there is all kinds of motherboards, different kinds of performances, sizes, um, and not all of them can have the same type of CPUs. So we're gonna get into that on today's agenda, as well as for anybody here, we're gonna do a Q&A session. So at the end, I want to hear what you guys have, and we'll continue on from there. So I am Tally, also known as Dirty Red Panda. I am one of the owners and co-found or founders of One Up Tech. If you guys know Dirty Wolf is the other owner, and his name is Giovanni for those that don't know. And for those who haven't heard about One of Tech, we are a small business here established here in Arizona. We specialize in building custom PCs um, for gamers, streamers, or even if you want it for business, it doesn't matter. We do it all. And our mission is just to provide expert guidance, transparent pricing, and exceptional customer service to ensure that our clients are receiving the perfect computer tailored to their needs. That's exactly what we're doing here in One Up Tech. And today I just wanted to talk about our services that we do offer here. What's up, Duke? What up? I just saw your comment here. So yeah, the four things we're gonna be talking about here with One Up Tech. I just wanted to talk about the services we offer here. Consultation services is our one of our basic services that we offer here. This service will offer our expertise and knowledge to you guys who are planning to upgrade their hardware, buy a new computer, or even discuss a custom idea or theme. So the consultation service is just pretty much talking with us, letting us know what you have in mind. You don't even have to build a computer with us. If you just want to talk with somebody with more knowledge and expertise in this stuff, you got it. You could always talk to us. And the second service that we haven't fully established just yet, because we're still designing them, is offering pre-designed um, PC services where we have pre-designed uh, computers that already have their part slits, and they're compatible. They're ready to be built, and this option is more for the clients who don't want the hassle of just thinking about like what parts list that they want or anything. They already see one that they like, and they can see that it fits them perfectly. We're obviously going to still do like a small consultation still with it, because we want to make sure that this computer can do exactly what you need it to do. Um so yeah, if you don't want to even plan out your design or anything, but you like the design that we have for our pre-designed stuff, go for it. That's what we have. But we're still building onto that. We're still trying to get everything for like a more budget to a more high end build. but we'll see when that happens. I'll let you guys know when we have that list. The parts list review. So, like, let's say if you have a parts list already and you just want us to estimate it and talk a little bit about it, just to just make sure that the parts list is compatible as well as it meets your requirements. Um, you can always do that. Send us a parts list you have. We'll price it, and we could talk then and there for about it. So we do that as well. And our fourth service that we offer here is, um, you know, offering our whole complete custom product uh design and assembly services. So we'll help you design your computer. We'll talk about it. We'll make sure that everything in the parts list is compatible as well as everything is, you know, meeting your standards of what you need it to do, as well as getting it to how exactly you want it to look, because you guys get to pick everything that goes in there. You know, the the how the case looks, to how, what color, what theme you want to go with, even if you want to add like little toys and stuff, because I've done computers where I had like little miniatures inside of them and stuff, and I think that's pretty cool and stuff. But yeah, you tell us exactly how you want it, and we'll build it. And yeah, those are our four services that we are currently offering. If you guys want, I would say always go with the consultation services. That way, we just talk about what you want, and then we'll see what service, if you want to like build a computer with us, we'll see what service fits perfect for you, and we'll continue from there. Um, hey, what's up, Nadeem? Nadeem 97er. I don't know if that's how you say it, but welcome in. Glad you are here. I hope you are having a great day. So right now we just finished talking about one of tech, and we're just pretty much a small uh business here established here in Arizona. Yeah, you came to the right place, Nadeem. That's what we're doing right now. We're just talking about computers and stuff. I do own a custom PC building business established here in Arizona. Yes, I'm familiar with Steam. I love Steam. I use it myself here to play most of my games. But as we continue here, we're going to get started on our next agenda here on motherboards, right? Why is it important to choose the right motherboard for you? Because think of the motherboard like your spine, I would say. If you have a bad spine, obviously your whole body would just collapse, right? you There's no support or anything, you just collapse, right? Well, think of the motherboard like that. If you have a motherboard that is not capable for gaming and streaming, you're going to have some bad results. And so I would say it is really important that you choose the right motherboard, because this motherboard is going to be everything about the computer. Like, you literally connect everything, every component that runs your computer, it's going to go to this motherboard. And if your motherboard doesn't have certain ports or certain even like having specific parts that are compatible to the components that you're trying to put in it, it's not gonna work. So it's really important. So like I'm gonna go do the rundown here and you know tell you guys what you should be looking for, what to keep in mind about it. Uh Nadim says, okay, so for some reason my Steam won't open lately. It says Steam web helper or something is not responding. What could be the reason? I tried almost everything. Um, I'm not sure of like no Steam that well, but it kind of sounds like probably a network issue with that app. It could be that you're not probably receiving the service correctly. I would say, get in touch with Steam support because I'm not really too familiar exactly on Steam itself. Like, but that kind of sounds like you're not receiving the service correctly on that app. Um, I don't know if you have tried uninstalling it and reinstalling it. Yeah, that sucks. They don't really have a support. They should have. I'm pretty sure. I mean, probably not like through the phone, but there should be a way to contact them through. Um, let me see. Let me see if I could get anything here for you. Yeah, so you could. So if you Google Steam support, you should be able to send them a contact on account issues or even like let's see here. Yeah, so if you click on how do I contact Steam, they'll send you to a way to contact them. So I would try with that, honestly. Oh, there you go, Dirty Wolf. Dirty Wolf did some research. But yeah, I would try that, either contacting them or like what Dirty Wolf put on there. Um, it could be something with Steam itself that it's not working. Um, Going back to topic here, though. Let me see here. Kind of switched out my stuff here. Oh, I think I. All right. So going back in topic here. Where was I? Oh yeah, motherboards. What to think about? What to do? uh what would be a great option, right? Obviously, so the first thing you want to make sure is that it fits the processor that you want to put in there. There are two different processors here common in the consumer market right now, which is Intel and AMD. And let me tell you, an Intel motherboard cannot support an AMD CPU, and vice versa. An AMD motherboard cannot support an Intel CPU. So you want to make sure the motherboard you get fits the CPU that you have selected. So also another thing to think about too is the socket, because older generation CPUs use different kind of sockets compared to newer generations. So you want to make sure that the socket on that motherboard fits your CPU. That is probably the most basic important thing that you have to do so that it fits your processor that you're going to use. You want to do your research, just all types of sockets, and you want to make sure the motherboard you get fits it. The second thing you want to think about is probably the power delivery, or also known as the VRM, which it keeps your CPU running smoothly. So pretty much what it is when you're gaming and streaming at the same time, your CPU works really hard and it needs steady power. And a good motherboard has to have a strong VRM, or also, for those who don't know what it is, kind of like the power system, and it needs to have a good heat sink on it where it keeps it cool as well. If you guys have seen a motherboard, I mean, I can even put it on here. Let me see. Let me switch to it quick here. Let me switch to the website here, and I can. Look, I look like a little guy on here. Let me fix that right there. Mm, all right, let me get the website displayed on here. Um, that one. Uh, Actually, maybe I could do it this way. Give me 1 second here. Duke, I just saw your comment. AMD for the win. Nadim says, I tried everything on the list and nothing worked. Anyway, I don't want to interrupt. Nadim, but yeah, I would try contacting them at this point. And yeah, I would Google Steam support and see how to contact them. It should be like the first one of the first links on there. I would try it. But yeah, AMD for the win. It looks like this year they're killing it. I can't tell you guys how much AMD has progressed to be in a good place, especially for gamers. Especially for gamers. And then now they're trying to get into the multitasking power that Intel had so much great CPUs that can do it. And now they made a CPU that can compete with it. And it's freaking insane. But let me connect here. I thought I is it not showing what's going on? What is showing? What is going on? Uh it is not wanting to show. What is going on? Um okay, that's showing, but oh, here we go. Here we go. Let's look at some of the things that I was talking about here. So, just to show you what a motherboard looks like, I mean, I'm pretty sure you guys have seen it. But for those who don't really look into their stuff, right? Let me just pull up a random motherboard. I'll just pull it up on the images, honestly. So let me show you a plain and simple one first, right? Whoop, 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 whoop. I don't want to go creepy. So let me show you a plain and simple one here. So right here on the right, I don't know if you see my mouse there. So you look at this, you see that a motherboard has some heat sinks right here. If you look at it and you tell me, well, would this be a good gaming motherboard? I probably would say no, because gaming motherboards, they use so much power because they are running fast. And because they are running fast, they run way hotter. So heat sinks are really important for those who are gaming, and as much as for those who are streaming as well. What is your question, Duke? Let me hear it. Let me hear it. So Duke Shadow says, how do you know when the thermal paste needs to be replaced? That's a great question. You don't know. You don't know until you literally take it off and you're like, that looks like it needs a new one. But there will be signs telling you that you need to change your thermal paste. So like sign I would say like the first indicator is that you are noticing that your CPU is just not cooling down as much as it used to. Like let's say I'm used to Celsius because most software reads it like that, so I'm not really used to the Fahrenheit part for us Americans here. But in Celsius, when you're gaming, it could be as hot like maybe 65 to 75 Celsius. And I would say if it's running more than those parameters when you're gaming, that you might want to consider evaluating the thermal paste. And if you have a like if you're being liquid cool, you want to make sure that your radiator and everything is still functioning, because it could also be a sign that your pump is not working like it should. So there's a lot of things more to look at when you have a liquid cooler, because it could just be the thermal paste, or it could be even something more that your pump is just not working as efficient as it used to, and you probably need a whole new liquid cooling system. Yeah, 50, 50, 60, dude, that's solid. That's really good. That's hardly yeah, that's really good. That's really good. Like that's where you want to keep it. I mean, these things could get as like I would say when I would start panicking if you get like closer to like 80 plus on Celsius, because I would say that at that point something is cooking a lot more on that CPU, and you should probably try to look at and see what's going on. So yeah, there are some signs of when you want to replace that. A good rule of thumb, you just want to evaluate everything every year and make sure that it is staying consistent on cooling. So I mean, and if you know how to take your your water block or even your fan off to just take a look at it, you could do that, or you could replace it every year. You don't have to worry about like if my thermal paste, still on there good, or do I need a new one? Yeah, 67. Yeah, that makes sense, dude. It would be something around like that, like a crazy temperatures. But like I said, these new CPUs, they could get hotter, so I would say if it's not reaching like 80 plus, I would kind of be worried about it. But but if it's anything lower, then it's still running good. It's cooling down efficiently. So I wouldn't worry about it too much. But yeah, it looks solid. So just look for those signs. If things are running hotter than usual, then you want to take a look at everything that cools down that CPU and see if it's the thermal paste, or see if it's, if you have a water cooler, make sure that pump is running well as well. Looking at the RPM, see if it's going up and down sporadic, because that kind of indicates that your pump is just going and you just need to buy another water cooling system. But going back into topic now, as you can see here, I mean, this is a bougie motherboard right here. Like, it has heat sinks everywhere. Like, we're talking about everywhere. Like, if you see here, it even has like additional fans cooling down some of the chips on the motherboard that get really hot. You can see that it's cooling down right here. I think actually this might be going over the RAM, if anything, cooling down the RAM. But you see how there's heat sinks everywhere, all this metallic stuff. When you blow air to them, it cools them down, in return, cooling down your whole motherboard. So you want to make sure that you're cooling down this stuff, because if you are not, let's see here what's going on. I'm gonna allow it. That's funny. It it detected your feel goo as sexual on the moderation stuff. That's funny. So it says, uh, Duke Shadow says, I got a new water cooler last year and just didn't really feel good with the thermal paste it came with. It just didn't look like the same as a lot of videos I watched. I was thinking to swap it to a different one and that has a good name for it. I mean, you could do it, dude. You don't even, so if you don't like the thermal paste that these little devices come with, then I would say, dude, get some alcohol with high proof on it, like 91%. Like 91%. Wipe that crap off if it's on there. If it's already applied, or if it comes in a syringe, just don't use it. Just buy your own thermal paste. There's nothing wrong going with a different thermal paste. So if you ever feel like that when you buy a water cooling system and you're just not feeling the thermal paste of it, or if you prefer to use another one, do it. Just do it. There's nothing wrong taking it apart right now if there's nothing wrong with it, but you just want that better thermal paste because there is higher quality thermal paste out there that does a really good job. And if you know which one are some, I personally I haven't tried any like the high end stuff, but like I tried in Corsair's thermal paste and they have different qualities of it. So like if you wanting to be the best quality thermal paste, put it on there. There's nothing wrong with doing that. Let's see here. Duke Shaw says, "If it ain't 90, I'm not I'm not using it on my computer." Yeah. If it's not running hot, there's no issues. Honestly, for those who want like the best of the best thermal paste or cooling systems on their computer, is because you're probably a overclocking enthusiast that really needs it. So, if you're not overclocking and you're using like the standard speeds and stuff, they designed all the hardware to run a certain speed at a certain temperature, and it shouldn't be like you shouldn't be needing more to make sure that it doesn't burn out if you're not overclocking it. If you're not overclocking it, I would say just don't sweat too much about the quality of the thermal paste. As long as it does its job, that's all it that's all that matters. If it's cheap thermal paste that is not doing the job, then maybe you shouldn't be using it and you should probably be using a better quality thermal paste. Duke Shaw says, I did overclock a little bit with MSI Afterburner, and that is fine. If I'm talking about like hardcore overclockers, I mean like people that love pushing things to the limit and they need like the best of the best on there. So even if you push it just a little bit and it's not getting it hot, it should be fine. Honestly, if it's cooling, like if you're saying that your stuff is running 50 to 60, that's still good. That's not bad at all. Um, but yeah, if you're noticing that it's getting too hot, then maybe you should start considering better quality cooling systems. Um, so that you make sure that it just cools it down. But if you're not running to that issue, there's no need to upgrade or anything or pay uh you know a lot more for cooling systems when the regular stuff gets you by. Duksha says, I'm not that confident to do too much overclock. Yeah, I don't even touch it. Personally, I don't even overclock anything on my computer. I just leave it alone. Like, if I need more out of it, then yeah, sure. Like, it's interesting. Back in the day, overclocking used to be something a lot more common. And that's due to the fact that people held technology, or yeah, a certain tier of technology a lot longer. So they didn't want to upgrade their own GPUs. They didn't want to upgrade their CPUs. So what they did, they're like, well, let's ramp it up. Let's overclock this so that it can still be playing the games that I like playing, and not spend an arm and a leg trying to buy the new CPU or the new graphics card. So that's kind of where overclocking came out, like why it is a thing in today's uh times, because back in the day it used to be like, well, I like this CPU and I like this GPU and I don't want to give it up, so let's overclock it to however far we can push it until I really need to upgrade. Now in today's market, like, all the hardware, honestly, it could last you so long, because I mean, if you think about it, back in the day, processors, they were slow. They were like 1.7 gigahertz, 2 gigahertz if you're lucky. 2.4 was like, oh man, that CPU is fast. You know, 2.7 was great. And then the 3 gigahertz were coming out and stuff like that. So back in the day, it made a lot of sense to do a lot of overclocking, because to get those insane speeds. Now CPUs are coming out to where they're ridiculously fast already. They're like running at 3.6, 3.7 gigahertz. They're multi-core, high thread counts. Um, there's not much to overclock unless you really want to go to that super speed of like getting into 5 gigahertz, you know. And I don't know what it is to have a 5 gigahertz CPU running, but for those who are enthusiasts that love seeing that stuff, that's why they still do it. That's why overclocking is still a thing. Or for like people that really need that extra juice because they're running older hardware. But like I said, today's time, it's overclocking really isn't necessary. A lot of technologies coming out where they're running fast enough already. So I can't imagine somebody, wanting more when they already have something good. So that's why I don't really necessarily overclock. Like, I just let things be on standard. Unless I really need to get that performance out of it, then yeah, sure, let's overclock. But yeah, in today's day and age, overclocking is just pretty something that, cool. Let's try it out. Let's see what we could push out of this thing. But it's not really necessary as much as it used to be back in the day. But yeah, going back to the motherboard here, we see that, you know, all that right there. Um, let's see here. Going back to the other one here. Um, so yeah, going to the back to the motherboard, as you see, like the heat sinks on that one compared to the other one, there's a huge cooldown difference on in between those. So you don't want a cheap motherboard that's going to be overheating and slowing down because it can't keep up uh on the power of to make the CPU run smoothly, as well as it's overheating a lot because it doesn't have enough heat sinks, or it doesn't have quality a quality cooling system on it to make sure that it doesn't overheat. So just pretty much make sure that, going back to what I was talking about here, make sure that it fits your processor. Power delivery is important, as well as its cooling capabilities. RAM slots, depending on the size of your motherboard, because there is a small version of motherboards where they're called micro ATX, which means it's a small motherboard that come with 2 RAM slots instead of the full 4. Um, Regular size motherboards, they always come with 4. So if RAM slots are important, make sure you have one that has 4 slots. you know, because with 4 slots, that means you have 4 slots to add a lot of RAM. If you have only 2 slots, well, you can add a lot of RAM. I mean, I think even now the dual RAM kits that are still coming out, they're getting bigger and bigger. So I mean, if you want to even save money and go with a micro ATX, I won't blame you, you know. That is definitely a way to save money when you buy a smaller motherboard. If you're not thinking to add that much RAM to it or paying good money for a RAM kit uh, that has a large capacity to it. Um, but yeah, you want to make sure you know that it has enough RAM slots for you for the amount of RAM that you're gonna use, as well as what kind of RAM technology comes with the motherboard. Is it DDR4? Is it DDR5? So DDR4 is the older generation RAM. New motherboards, they are coming. I think they just stopped using already DDR4. So if you buy a new motherboard, it should come standardly DDR5. But if you have a motherboard that has DDR4, it's still not bad. There's still good speeds that you could get with DDR4 motherboards. Uh, hold on, give me a sec here. I think I'm getting a call here on Discord. Um, Going back to the subject here. Um, DDR4, there's still some good speeds with it. So if you're trying to save money on a motherboard and you're like, I'm okay with DDR4 speeds, you can still do that. But fair warning, um, manufacturers are trying to get away from DDR4. They already started doing that. So DDR4 is going to become very rare to come by. So I would recommend to always, when you're buying a new gaming PC or a new whatever kind of computer you're making, just get the latest stuff. You know, if you can afford it, get the latest stuff. If you can't, don't worry about it. But it might affect the way that you can upgrade your computer later. So just remember that. And if you're gaming, 16 gigabytes of RAM is still good. It's still not bad. 16 gigabytes can still do you a lot of good. But if you are streaming, 16 gigabytes is not enough. I'm going to tell you that right now. If you're streaming, 16 gigabytes is pretty tight. if you're running, if you're trying to run a gaming and a streaming setup. So if you're streaming, I would recommend at least 32 gigs. 32 gigs. And even then, 32 gigs is kind of cutting it close because games are being more demanding now to have a lot more RAM. And yeah, like think about even Minecraft. Minecraft, that game eats up RAM like nobody's business. That's a RAM gobbler. And I remember making worlds where you need to have at least 10 gigabytes dedicated to Minecraft. And for a streamer and a gamer, that's a lot. So I personally upgrade to 64 gigs because of that reason. Because I'm all like, yeah, if I want a nice Minecraft modded Minecraft game, I need to have more. So like there's specific games that eat a lot of RAM. And if you're a streamer and you want to multitask in playing the game and streaming, then the more RAM you have, the better. But I would always recommend 32 gigs at least because anything less than that, your computer is going to be fighting for its life. Duke Shadow says Star Citizen and Modern Minecraft didn't like 16 gigabyte DDR from mine. LOL. It ran, but it wasn't great. Exactly. So, just like Duke Shadow said, it runs, but it's not gonna be smooth. That's when you know you have to upgrade something about your system when it's just not running smooth. But yeah, if you're a gamer and a streamer, 32 gigs, you're good. Anything less than that, then your computer is really going to be fighting for its life. The fourth thing to think about is making sure your motherboard has fast storage. Believe it or not, your gaming experience dictates a lot when it comes to where these games are stored into. Is it stored into an old hard drive, or is it stored into the fastest M2 NVMe drive out there? So, want to make sure that you have fast storage because then your games load up so quick, you know. You're and then when you're gaming, you know, when you're gaming, the game is pulling is decompressing and compressing files so quick that it needs that kind of storage, a very fast one. It's really important. So, and especially if you're recording too, if you're streaming and recording. Hey, what's up, hey Jug? Welcome in, dude. This is I don't know when he's gonna change his name, but this is Dirty Feral Ferret for anybody that doesn't know. Um, he's gonna be streaming soon. He's a I mean, I'm telling you guys, he's very entertaining to play with, and I'm just excited once he starts streaming. It's gonna be crazy. It's gonna be like super crazy, guys. Like, bro. I mean, he's hella risky sometimes, but dude, you're welcome, bro. You're welcome. Um, we're just talking about motherboards and what you should be looking at when you're considering a motherboard. Right now, we're talking about having a fast storage. Um, I had a lot of clients tell me like, well, M2 drives are kind of expensive, but it's like, you know, they don't realize that having slow storage can affect them a lot, especially when you're gaming and especially when you're recording things, you know? When you're recording things, it takes a lot of it takes a lot of storage, and then the read and writing speed of that storage, you know, your videos can suffer if it's not fast enough to read and write the information on that recording. So just know that it is really important that you have a fast storage. I'm not saying that you have to get the fastest, but probably get something fast enough is all I'm saying. Um, so M2 NVMe drives are the fastest thing that you could get out there. A generation 3 is good. If you couldn't afford a generation 4, that's even better. But right now I think we're up to generation 5 where it's insane speeds. I think it's still an overkill, but if you have the money, why not, right? If your motherboard can accept it, why not? But yeah, make sure you have a good fast storage capability on your motherboard. Um, the fifth thing you want to think about is, does it have Wi-Fi capability or is it just Ethernet? Not all motherboards have Wi-Fi, guys. It is nuts to think that motherboards don't come standardly with Wi-Fi. It's crazy, but it exists. So when you're getting the motherboard, make sure it has Wi-Fi if you're planning to use Wi-Fi. Because if it doesn't, you're gonna have to add a network card to offer Wi-Fi for you, and it's gonna cost probably as much as buying a motherboard that has one already. So it wouldn't make sense that if you're trying to save money, you wouldn't want to add it and then add it later, you know? So if you need Wi-Fi, get Wi-Fi. If you want to save money and you use Ethernet, like the cable, then you can save money that way. Why you need a motherboard that has a Wi-Fi, you know? If you ever need it, you could always add like I said, the network card to it that has a Wi-Fi card on it. So Um, Pretty much make sure it has the Wi-Fi that you need it for. Ethernet, I'm gonna tell you, is the fastest network method that you can have. Um, Duke Shadow says M2 is worth it, 100%. See, Duke Shadow knows. Duke Shadow knows if you go anything slower, a lot of things suffer because you went slower. But if you can afford a nice average speed storage device, that you're all good. But I get it too. If you can't afford it, I understand. But just know that the capability of your computer drops that much too when you make that kind of decision. Um, Going back, wired, going in wired with your computer, Ethernet is probably the best stable and speed that you're gonna get for networking, like for your internet. Like it's the best thing. But if you're using Wi-Fi, I'm gonna say it. Get a motherboard that can do at least Wi-Fi 6. I think that right now we're on like what Wi-Fi 7, I do believe. So get yourself something that could do Wi-Fi 6 or Wi-Fi 6E, which is a stronger signal and has less lag into it. So make sure that you have something at least Wi-Fi 6. Anything lower than that, the range is a lot less, the signal's weaker, and the speeds are a lot slower. Um, but yeah, um, like for example, my computer here, I just had Google Fiber install a 8 gigabits per second or 8,000 gigabits per second network. So I'm doing 8,000. My motherboard cannot support 8,000 bits going into the Ethernet. It can only support up to, I think it was I want to say up to 2.5 thousand gigabits per second on its Ethernet port. And I know 8,000 is overkill, but I wanted to try it. So I was like, well, I gotta upgrade this motherboard now. Well, I didn't upgrade the whole motherboard, but I gotta add a network card that has an Ethernet capable of receiving 8,000 gigabits. So I bought one that could receive up to 10,000. And it's funny because that network card is usually for servers that are running those speeds. So I kind of have a server network card in my computer right now just to run the 8,000. So it's crazy, it's lunatic, it's overkill, but I love it. But I had to make sure that my motherboard can do it. And because it was running just a 2.5 on the Ethernet that's built into, I had to add a component to it in order to receive the full 8,000. And so yeah, just make sure the motherboard you get has Wi-Fi 6 if you're going to use Wi-Fi, and it has a good Ethernet port, that's capable of running your internet. If you're doing anything, I mean, 2.5 is still good. 2,500 gigabit port is still good. So because I don't think anybody's really gonna have 8,000 like just like me on Google Fiber to be running on their Wi-Fi or anything, or through the hard line. So I don't think anything more than 2.5. I think it's a bit of overkill, but there is some that do run 5,000. Just FYI. But 2.5 is a great start on Ethernet. Um, Number 6, you want to make sure your motherboard has enough USB ports, because especially if you're streaming, you might have a light setup that's connected through USB. You might have a, webcam that's connected through USB-C or USB or regular USB 3.0. You might have a mic that's running through USB-C or through USB. You might have other kinds of devices, more USB hubs or whatever it may be. Whatever component has a USB and it connects to your computer. you want to make sure you have enough. Some motherboards, like the cheaper end motherboards, they don't have that many USBs on there, or certain types like USB-C, or like even faster USB-Cs. So depending what external devices you're gonna have connected through USB on your computer, you want to make sure your motherboard has them. You don't want to run out and be like, well, now I gotta add more USB hub, like a USB hub to add more USBs, which is fine. That is fair, you know. But if you don't want to go through that hassle, you could definitely buy a motherboard that has it all for you. So if it doesn't, the cool thing about motherboards is that you could always add components to add capability and abilities, to your motherboard. So that's the cool thing about it. But if you don't want to go through that hassle, then just make sure you have a motherboard that can already do it for you. Number 7, for you gamers, and I'm pretty sure streamers, you want to have a motherboard that has a graphics card uh slot. I don't know if there's any motherboards. I mean, back in the day, it used to be like that they're not all motherboards can support a gaming graphics card. And I don't know today's in day and age, I haven't dealt with a motherboard that can't do that. So, I mean, if there is motherboards still out there like that, that's crazy, but just make sure it could run your graphics card. You want to make sure that you have a PCIe uh 16 slot on there so that it can run it. Because if you don't, and you got a regular PCIe slot that doesn't it's not an express type, your graphics card's going to run a lot slower and not to its performance that it should be doing. Number 8, good audio. For those who are running specific mics or headsets, like if you're doing studio, right? Like if you're like recording or even broadcasting, or you want that mic that has a good that needs that good connection for good quality recording or even streaming, you want to make sure your motherboard has a good audio um chip that can do it. Some higher end motherboards can do surround sound, and have like that what do you call it? That I forgot what they call it, but like it's that fiber optic audio one. I forgot what they call that one. I'm having a blank, but they have that kind of connection, and and just really depends. So like if you're really into that audio stuff, you want to make sure that you have that. Um what else? So Intel motherboards, AMD motherboards, the last thing I would consider is also you know, I would recommend like any like at least B760s, or in AMD the B650s models to be like the most budget that I would say that it's good. Um when I'm talking about like the models like the Z790 or the X790, um when it comes to AMD, all that stuff just means how fast your motherboard is running, as well as the quality of hardware that's on your motherboard. So like the B series motherboards for AMD and Intel, just remember that those are kind of like, it could be your budget motherboard to a average motherboard, gaming motherboard. So like B series, just remember them as just an average motherboard. But if you want to go into like the best performing stuff, The Z series, or in AMD, the X series, those motherboards are the creme of the creme motherboards of being the fastest, as well as having better hardware on it. So just remember that. Um you don't always need to spend for the best thing. I love Z motherboards or the X series motherboards because they do everything that I want it to be. They're fast. They have the latest tech most of the time, depending what generation you're working with, obviously. And they have like the best quality parts. And let me tell you, if you go cheap on your motherboard, you're gonna expect cheap. If you pay a good buck for it, you're gonna get the good stuff, and it's probably gonna last you a lot longer. Because your cheap motherboard ain't having a barbecue on its, with its CPU and other components connected to it. The optic cable. There you go. There you go. Duke Shadow. You got me. You got me, buddy. The optic cable. That's like one of the best audio stuff to like listen from. I mean, you hook up your surround sound systems even to that. Um, but yeah, just remember that the B series is probably like average to budget components, and then if you want the best of the best, try to shoot for, like, if you're on Intel, try to shoot for a Z series, or on AMD, try to shoot for an X series, and you got something really good for gaming and for tech, gaming and capability wise. Um, so all I can say is, don't cheap out on a motherboard. I think a motherboard should be considered one of the highest priorities to get the best thing for it, because that motherboard is going to dictate what kind of components you could plug into, how fast things are going to run, and you know you just want to make sure you have the best things on there, because that is your foundation. If you have a bad foundation, everything else that you connect to it is probably not going to work well, and you're going to see that on your streams quality or recording quality, as well as your gaming performance. You're going to see it. So don't cheap out on your motherboards. You know, you could cheap on all the other components that go around it, but don't cheap out on motherboards. So you want to make sure that, you know, if you're gaming, you want to make sure that your motherboard can handle the fastest and latest tech. If you're streaming, you want to make sure your CPU and motherboard combination works great. You know, you want to make sure that they don't overheat either. So you want to make sure a motherboard has great capability here. Oh, we got a new follower. YZFR, what's up, buddy? Thanks for coming by, dude. um, but yeah, the RAM. You want to make sure you could do enough RAM on there. Um, 32 gigs if you're streaming. 16 gigs is still good for gaming if you're just gaming. But if you're thinking about streaming, you want to make sure that you have at least 32 gigs. Um, Fast internet. You want to make sure motherboard can give you that, either through Ethernet, or if you're gonna plan to use Wi-Fi, make sure it's Wi-Fi 6. You know, make sure it's Wi-Fi 6, and you have a good signal to the router when you do connect it. Uh, but yeah, that is everything on motherboards for today. Now we're going off on the next part of our agenda, which is showing you guys trending products on PC accessories. So this is the most exciting part of the day for me personally because as you guys know, I'm very passionate and an enthusiast on this stuff and I want to show you guys what trending PC accessories are out there. Um Today, let me go ahead and switch to the other part here. Um Today we have actually I think it's on another one here. Yeah, it's on another one here. Let me let me get it. Let's see. I gotta go to my goodness. Why is it not finding it? Hold on. Give me one segundo here. Un segundo here because I cannot find it. Oh, here you go. Okay. So as you guys can see there, today's topic, Lian Li fans. Um, the specific fan I have on here, these fans, they have a small LCD screen on here in the middle, and you clearly put videos on them, GIFs, pictures, whatever you want on these little screens. Even have temperatures show you, or even like the percentage, the usage percentage on certain hardware. You could put it all on there. But yeah, these are case fans from Lee and Lee. I love Lee and Lee, but let me tell you, if you're going with Lee and Lee, there's a whole crap ton of cables that go with it. Oh my god, like all the USB ports you're gonna use for this thing is crazy. All the USB headers on your motherboard, they're gonna be used. And in order to not have that happen, you need to buy a splitter that can take all these USB headers into one USB header. So just remember that. You're probably gonna have to buy accessories to make sure that all the cables can connect on your motherboard because Dirty Wolf has bought some Lian Li fans before, and let me tell you, it was not a great experience. They had, I mean, just the amount of cables that you had to connect to make these things work was crazy. And so, but I mean, what you're getting is pretty cool still. So if you don't mind though all the cable management that you're gonna have to do with these fans are pretty good, honestly. And like I said, these ones in specific, it looks like they slide into each other, so maybe it's a lot less cables to run this time. Um the LCD screen is 1.6 inches, I do believe. So they're probably like something this big, in case fan. Um but let me show you guys a video of it of how it looks. So I mean, it's freaking. I mean, the everything looks beautiful on it, and you could slide them, and they all connect and communicate that way, and it's one cable through it, so it's not bad. So look at that. Like you could play one whole video, or like I'm pretty sure they have specific videos that are supposed to work with these Lee and Lee fans, and I mean that looks freaking sick. You're not gonna find fans like these just everywhere, and Lee and Lee has some great PC accessories, and this is the Unifan uh Unifan TL LCD thing, Uh I do believe these only come in, let's see. Let me see if I can see what kind of sizes they come in with. Mm, I think right here. These are just the yeah. This is just the air flow information. Let's see. Do they have the actual specifications? Oh, here we go. So they have it in black or white, and these are just the dimensions for it. But where is the actual they're actual fans? I think they're 120s. Yeah. They come in 120s, and I guess they have I think they have a 140. Yeah. They have 140s and they come in 120s. So if you're thinking of doing, you know, putting these on the radiator, I mean, I think it'll look freaking sick. Um, these are obviously in the more expensive side of case fans that I would say that if you're gonna be extra bougie with your case fans, these fans are great. Duke Shaw says, I'm happy with my thermal take CT 140. Yeah, I mean thermal take is awesome. Actually, believe it or not, the next thing I want to show you guys is thermal take itself, you know, the lineup. So CT 140s, this is the one Duke Shadow's talking about. These are the CT 140s. They come also in 120s as well, but Duke has it in 140. And these are crazy because thermal take has stepped it up in when it comes to colors. Like most fans in today's market, they come either black or they come in white. They're not really colored. So Thermaltake was like, you know what? We're gonna make sure that we could get all sorts of colors on our lineup. And this is what they did. I do believe they launched this last year, I think, on these colors. So if you're trying to get something that's not black or white and you want a certain color, Thermal Take is a good option to check out. Because they have all sorts of fans. I mean, Thermal Take is really good. Like you can't go wrong with it. And Duksha says, I like to keep mine cool. Mine is the hydrangea. Oh my god, I don't know if how to say hydrangea blue. Let me see. Let me type it. And well, let's just put blue. Oh yeah, he has this one right here. This is the one he's telling me. So yeah, I mean they have all colors, and I wanted to show you guys this because you don't have to stay boring with black and white. You could change it up to colors, and they just have a wide variety of different fan types. You know, the looks and everything. They have even a little touchscreen fan controller that you could get uh, on your case. So I mean, they have some really cool stuff. I mean, look at that! Like this whole thing, it lights up. So they have all kinds of fans. Can't go wrong with them. I mean, look at the colors, variety. I mean, they got almost everything. Thermaltake has some good stuff. They have some hubs here to make the cable management that much easier. Um, but yeah, look at that. I mean, look at all these styles, different style of fans. Can't go wrong with them. They have like an assortment, and I feel like Thermaltake is just that kind of uh company that likes to just throw in all kinds of cool designs. And not only do they do case fans, but they also have they do build cases too. Let's see if I can find it. Here we go. They build cases. They also do RAM kits. They do the liquid cooling and stuff like that. All this I could show you guys on a different day, but just to give you a sneak peek on the kind of cases, which let me tell you, they've been doing a good job designing these. Like these are pretty unique looking cases. Um, especially with their Tower 600. If you like that small looking computer, um, these are great. They have all these other kinds that I mean, they've been doing so good on the small computer case building that like I mean they look adorable. And but yeah, they all have some different kinds of cases too. So I mean they're great. They're great at that as well as I feel like they have great airflow as well. If you're into that stuff, having the best airflow. They're really good case. I mean, they have all sorts of cases, but yeah, like I mean, look at all these even some like weird looking ones. I feel like you could just drive this computer. Like here's the cockpit. Kind of what it reminds me of. But yeah, they have all kinds of cases. This one, oh, this is pretty cool. It has the um, distro on the back here for custom water cooling. That's pretty cool. But yeah, they have all kinds of cases, all kinds of case fans. Obviously, they do liquid cooling and stuff, and we could show more later because I mean, there's a lot with thermal take, a lot. But I kind of wanted to show you guys that thermal take is a good option if you're trying to get all different kinds of fans, especially colored ones. There's not that many companies doing that, so it's a pretty good PC case fans for that exact reason. Duke Shadow says also make sure to pay attention to the fan direction. Yes. When you're putting in your fans, make sure you pay attention to that because you don't want to blowing into another direction that you don't want it to. All fans they blow one direction, and depending where you're gonna put this fan and how the airflow works with that case, you want to make sure that they're pointing in the right direction. Duke Shadow says, I didn't, and so I have to have the back of my case vent showing. LOL. Yeah, we all make that mistake learning how to build computers. The next one on my list is actually a case. It's V1 APNX, and let me tell you, these cases look freaking sexy, as well as the airflow design is really interesting, as well as efficient. Um, these are brand new cases. I think they might have launched this either sometime last year or sometime this year. I don't remember. But as you can see the display of airflow right here. So we see that the air is sucking in and the air is blowing out. That's literally how they design these cases. Um, I mean, it's very spacious. It's a unique design. And as you can see here, look at all the space that you can put in here. Like dude, you could do a dual fan radiator on top. That's how much space this case has. Like it's crazy. Like if you wanted to do that, you could do it. And here is the radiator sizes that fits it. So you could put a 360 on the bottom or even a 280. Same on the top. On the side, you could add a 280 to a 360 as well. On the back, you could throw one case fan of 120. So when you're looking at cases, these are the things that you want to look at as well. You want to make sure that it can support the fans, you know, and it can support your radiator side as well. So on here, we could see that you could have 10 fans in this case, which is freaking a lot, but that's freaking great because you know that thing's gonna be running cool. And but yeah, it looks like everything comes apart, easy access. So as you can see, the top, the back, the fans here on the side, everything comes apart so that you could put this thing together without any problems or resistance. And as you can see, like different compartments come off and stuff, so you can make your building that much easier to get into, as well as cable management. And look at that. I mean, like, thing looks freaking clean. And the one specific one I wanted to show you guys was this style right here. I don't know, something about black and wood just looks so sexy. Like, this might be the next case I grab. I don't know. Maybe. But because the Y70 is kind of on top there too, that I kind of want to get to, but I don't know. I want to change case and change the way my computer looks. Right now I got the Chrome Vision, which is pretty cool computer too. I could show you guys quickly on that. Give you a little bonus for those who are here watching. So yeah, it comes in 6 styles. Obviously it comes in black, comes in black and wood, black and white, black and white and wood. So you could have all three colors. That's crazy. And then you could have one all in white, and then also comes white and wood, which is not bad. But yeah, this, I mean, this computer just looks unique as hell. Like it, it's very different. The design is different. The airflow looks freaking chef's kiss here, and yeah, it looks freaking sexy. And here's more specifications. What kind of like, so if you're reading, right? So just to give you guys even more stuff, um case type, it says mid tower. So mid tower means like it's like a medium sized case. A micro tower is obviously something for a smaller computer, and then a full tower is literally a full size computer, which is freaking huge. It's huge. A full tower computer is freaking huge. Like, everybody that I know, everybody's used to the mid tower, and we think those are big. But a full tower, if you know what that is, congratulations, you have seen a big ass computer. And Duke Shadow says, "One up for the win." Thank you, buddy. I love that you're enjoying this, man. Um, and I appreciate you being here, Duke. And um, so yeah, so when we're looking at this stuff, um, it tells you the material, what the material is made out of, as well as thickness, um, what kind of motherboards can it support. As you can see, it can support a regular ATX, which means just a regular size motherboard. It could also get a micro ATX, which is the very small motherboards. And then the mini ITX is just a slightly bigger but small motherboard as well. Duke says mine is a full tower. It's FES AF. The Antic CA cancellation. Let's check that out. Let's check what Duke Shadow has. CA Constellation. Oh yeah. That looks like a, let's see. Take a look at it. Oh yeah, that looks pretty big. Yeah, it looks like a big dude. Looks like a really big dude. Can already tell because of the slots right here. That's a lot of PCI slots. Yeah, it's a pretty big computer right there. Looks really nice. I like how it looks. Very simple and pleasing to the eye because you can show off all the hardware. Yeah. I mean, like, true. I can imagine someone just having a computer like that has enough space for these freaking gigantic GPUs that we're getting. I mean, look at that. That thing looks freaking huge. I mean, yeah, that makes sense because mine looks kind of like that. But yeah, dude, that's freaking sick. But yeah, that's the things you're just looking for when you're picking out a case. It gives you all this information so that you know what to expect. Even tells you like what kind of GPU size, like the biggest that it can support. Um it tells you all the fan types, obviously, the type of radiators that can fit in there, um, what kind of ports it has in the front or around the case, you know, and then what kind of power supply that it can take. So when you're shopping around for cases, this is the information you want to look at and just make sure that everything that you're putting in this case can fit in there. And this is the way to do it. And this is the one I have right now, Duke. Chrome Vision. Let me see. Yeah, let me- this is the one that I have right here. This is what I have. The Chrome Vision. It's a nice computer. Literally looks like a freaking mirror when you turn it on. It's cool because it looks like this when it's on. Like when it's on, you could clearly see all the things that light up. But when you turn it off, it looks like a freaking mirror. It's like the weirdest thing. But yeah, that is pretty much. I mean, I love this case because it was so easy to build in. Everything comes into pieces. Like it was so easy. Like you could take that whole thing out and build a computer on it and then just smack it back on the case. Like it was so easy to build with. Like I can't emphasize how easy it was to work with this case. Um and the only thing that I have against this case is that it's not good enough airflow. Like the design of it, it's nice, it looks cool, but the airflow on this case is not um the greatest. So I would say that for those who are not hard, I mean, it does good. Like I'm not getting any bad temperatures using it right now, but I know the case design isn't like the best for airflow. So if airflow is what bothers you or worries you a lot, this case really isn't really meant for that kind of stuff because I for any case that has it like this is not the best. Like I would always recommend like there has to be vents on the top. If there's no vents on the top, it's probably not the best airflow case. I'm not saying that it's impossible to work with when you're gaming and streaming on it, but if you do notice that your hardware's having difficulty to cool down, the case can be an issue too. With this one, it's okay. It's not bad where like my things are getting overheated, but things are running a little bit harder because the airflow on it isn't the best. So just keep that in mind when about this case. Other than that, this case is beautiful. It's sexy. Like I love it. But that would be my only thing about that case. It just doesn't have good airflow compared to other cases that kind of show off the whole computer and stuff. I wish there were more fans because legit I only have seven fans to this case and that's it. When I'm used to having like 10 to even 12 fans in a case for airflow. So yeah, um, it's not bad. It's not bad. I still don't think it's like too bad. But if airflow bothers you, I would say, you know, avoid this case because it's not that great. Like, this is what I'm talking about. Like, a case like this is great because you can see it has all the fans all around it to where air can be pushed in and pushed out. So this will make it a very good case for air circulation, airflow. So, but since mine is just like, you see that there's only fans here at the bottom, fans on the side, and one in the back, and that's it. It doesn't make it the most efficient way of cooling the system. So yeah, that's my only take on the case that I have right now. But other than that, we are getting to the last part of our stream here. Um, I talked all day, and it's time for the question and answers. I'm here to listen to you guys. If you guys have any questions, any concerns about computer stuff, right now it's time to say it all before I get off because I know you guys also have probably some questions to ask or, you know, anything about either my business or, computer components, whatever it is. Your time is now before I get off and enjoy my day. Even though I'm enjoying it right now, not saying that I'm not. I love that you guys are all here and we could discuss about this stuff because I love talking about it. So right now, you guys have the stage right now to ask any questions about computers or my company. So this is your time. If there is no questions, then we'll proceed to just saying goodbye. But if anybody has any other things to talk about, let me know in the comment. We'll play some music while I wait. How about that? Let's see here. Oh man. Oh, I got a phone call. So while you guys think of a question, I'm gonna be on this phone call. Give me 1 second. All right. Last chance for the question and answer here. If you guys have any questions, let me know and continue to talk about it. This is your time, guys, to ask me anything. Because if not, then I'm just gonna go and actually eat. I'm actually getting hungry. I'm getting hungry here, so yeah, if you guys have anything about computers, or if you want to ask me anything about my small business, we do build computers, and if you have any questions about that, I'm here to listen. But if not, we'll continue. We'll continue on our day, and I hope you guys have a good one. By the way, guys, if you guys are curious about the music I'm playing right now, it is literally Minecraft lo-fi. Don't ask me why, but I don't mind it. I enjoy it. It's very soothing. If Minecraft music is already soothing when you're playing it and you're building stuff and it's just relaxing, I mean, that's the reason why I love it. It's so relaxing. And then when you add lo-fi to it, it's even that much better. Um, this one's just a random lo-fi though. But the lo-fi that I was playing earlier, that's what it was. But if you guys don't have any questions, I'm gonna march out of here and enjoy the rest of the day. Um, thank you guys for being here. Thank you, Duke Shadow. Thank you, uh, A Jock, for being here, or also known as the Dirty Feral Ferret. I can't wait to see you stream, bud. Can't wait to have you set up and ready to go for that. Thank you guys for being here. Thank you so much. I really do appreciate it. And oh, wait, we have a question. How did One Up Tech become so awesome? I'll tell you how it becomes so awesome. Honestly, I could tell you from since I was a teenager in high school, I always had the idea to help people with computers. At first, I wanted to make like a computer repair shop, but then I actually enjoyed just building computers. Like it was a headache repairing computers, but I mean I don't mind it now because like you learn a lot doing that. Like let me tell you, learn a lot. Like if you do some computer repair and stuff, you learn a lot about troubleshooting. You get a lot of experience. So like if you guys want to get into that, I would say do it. And that way you'll be that much better when you're building computers and you see issues, you can quickly diagnose that computer and be like, "Huh, this is what's going on." So it is a skill that you learn on the go. You're going to get a lot of computers that have different kind of issues, and you're not going to know exactly where you're gonna always run into. But as long as you've seen it before and you remember what you did to fix it, it'd be all good. So back in high school, I had the idea of opening my shop with some friends, um, or open up a computer repair business. But I feel like I wasn't that serious back in high school, so it was just an idea um, that just never came to be. But at that time, we came up with the name One Up Tech, and literally, I mean, I feel like if I pushed myself with my friend that wanted to do it, it probably could have been something that could have happened, if we just worked harder onto it. But I mean, after high school, we kind of grew apart. We didn't really talk to each other and stuff. And I'm not saying that like anything bad happened or anything. It's just life happens, and Jerry Wolf. we didn't we didn't pick up. We are dead. What do you mean? You're playing Star Citizen or something? But yeah, so one of tech, that name always stuck with me. And I don't know much about running a business, opening a business, or anything like that. I didn't know much. All I know, it was just a bunch of more headaches, a lot of things to think about, and a lot of like even knowing the rules and regulation on running a business. And for me, it was just too much. And I kind of actually stopped doing computer stuff for a while. And it wasn't until Dirty Wolf. I mean, I've been friends with Dirty Wolf for like, I feel like over a decade already. And Dirty Wolf and I, there was a part in our life where we didn't talk as much as we used to. So when we started talking with each other again, and I'm not saying like something bad happening between us either or anything, because we're still great friends. But when we started talking again a lot, he told me about his gaming computer and stuff. Like I didn't really gaming on computers. I really gamed on Xbox and stuff. And he told me how great it was to game on computers. And he showed me his and stuff. And I asked him, I'm like, oh, how much did that cost you? And it was astronomically expensive. And I was like, what? Like, how can it be that expensive? But like, I could have built it for you a lot cheaper, and you could pick exactly what you wanted to go in that computer. And then that's when the idea sparked in my head again, like, wait, like this could be something that we could do. Because after we started building his computer, because at the end of the day, we just upgraded his computer. We put some new parts in there, and I felt like, it was fun to do. I always had that passion since I was a kid, and I kind of, it kind of re-sparked that passion into me when I started helping him with his computer and stuff. And then that's when the idea grew in my head, because then I built my own computer, my first gaming computer, and that was so much fun. And like the power of just putting whatever you want in that computer and saving yourself tons of money was like the greatest feeling ever. And so then we started building computers for our friends and stuff, and then that's when I started realizing like, hey, this can be a good business. And I love helping people. I love helping people have that freedom of putting whatever they want in the computer, choosing how they want it to look like, what theme, color themes, everything on it. Like it was great to talk with people and be like, this is how I want it. Blah 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 blah. And then I did it free because they were my friends, and I wanted to help them with their gaming needs. And that's when it started clicking in my head, like, hey, this could be a nice small business that I can do. At the time, I just didn't know how to run or even start a business or anything like that. But as time progressed, I had a lot of time to think about what I want my business to be about. And the thing that kept going through my head is that I want to help people, give them affordable solutions on helping them how to get their custom gaming computer, that's capable to do exactly what they want it to do. And I didn't want to be just another tech company that like, you know, here's a custom PC, but it's gonna cost you an arm and a leg, you know. Like I don't want that. I want to be able to be that solution for any kind of computer. Yeah, I don't dictate how expensive these computer hardware can get sometimes. Like the graphics card, that's crazy. To me, it's like very greedy for these companies to take advantage of their customers right now. Like graphics cards should never be this expensive. Should never be. And we're living in that, in the age right now where graphics cards are just gonna be expensive, and I'm gonna do my best to always find the best deals on those, and provide that information to you guys when you guys do talk to me and stuff like that. So yeah, like that was the whole idea for One of Tech again, and that's what I wanted to be. I'm passionate in building these computers as well as helping people out as much as I can, and be for real with them. Like, hey, this stuff ain't cheap. What you're asking for it to do, you know, and that's the kind of stuff that I wanted to do with One of Tech. I wanted to be that, that company that is for reals, transparent, and honest about, uh, gaming computers and stuff like that. And hopefully, when you guys do uh, decide to do business with us, you feel that, you feel the honest, you know, transparent, pricing of your computer and everything, about it. Just you feel great, confident that what you're getting is value, and that's all we want, you know. And that's how One of Tech came to be. Finally, I did some research on how to open up a company. What I have to look at. Taxes, everything. That's how One of Tech became to be, and you know, I guess how Duke Shadow says is why we're so, why we're awesome because we really want to, um, we really want to be that kind of tech company where you can have the full confidence that we're gonna take care of you guys, um, and make sure that everything runs as perfect as it can be, even if there's a little struggle because components are not working as they should be. We're gonna make sure that that thing is running as perfect as possible, and it lasts you for a while because we want to make sure that these computers can also be upgraded in the future if you ever wanted to upgrade it. So yeah, that's how One of Tech became to be. um Me and Dirty Wolf, we're glad to be here and to meet a lot of communities here on Twitch. It all started through OG Jules' stream, that we started growing with her community as well as getting to know other streamers and stuff. We do have a network for streamers called Dirty Network. And it's pretty much a group of streamers that we're also helping, and they're affiliated with us. So um that's the kind of stuff that we are proud to be here, proud to be as One of Tech, at the end being able to help our fellow streamers as well as our community, you know. And I hope that maybe someday, you know, as we get more business and stuff, like we're able to help more and more as much as we can. And that is just pretty much our mission, honestly, as One of Tech, being able to be that solution for anybody, no matter what kind of budget you have. We will try to work with it as best as possible and be realistic with it, you know, to make sure that it does meet your needs and to be informed, exactly what that computer can do and what it cannot do, you know. So yeah, one tip is good. Dusha says, he just launched Star Citizen, and Dirty Wolf is an amazing person. He is. He is. He's like honestly the greatest partner, the most like, I mean, the best person to come with this business, honestly. Like he's very supportive. very great uh at, you know, pretty much just listening and just a, great partner, like just putting his input, having his expertise as well, in a lot of things. He is a lot older than me. So I mean, not a lot older, but um he's definitely the older brother that I have, that it's not blood related. So yeah, he's a great guy. But any other questions, guys, before I get on going here? I hope that answers your question, Duke Shadow. I'm just here rocking on my office chair. But let's see here. I don't know if there's anything else. Let's click back on that. I'm gonna give it one more minute, and if there's no more questions, then I'll see you guys later. I'm gonna get on here and probably play a little bit Star Citizen maybe. But I am hungry. I am getting hungry. By the way, guys, I just had a massage this morning. It was freaking amazing. Like I suffer with I suffered an injury on my shoulder, like I think it's about 2 years 2 years ago, I think. I'm still rehabbing for it, and it's getting a lot better. But through massages, oh my god, like I think I sped up the recovery on it. Um I have like a pinched nerve here that kind of like spazzes all my muscles, and this morning, like, the progress of just feeling good, like not having aching muscles, because like usually even after a massage I still be aching, and that's how crazy my muscles can get. But this morning, like, my masseuse just, I don't know what happened, but like she just got everything, like every knot out of my shoulder, and I feel great right now for the first time ever. Like I feel really good. And it's a nice day. It's a nice day. Can't ask for a better day when you don't feel that pain and stuff. And yeah, get your massages. Get your massages. That's all I can say. If you haven't tried it, try it out. You'll be surprised how much massage at least once a week can alleviate a lot of muscle muscle pain issues. But anyways, enough yapping here. Just like Void Father likes to say. I'm gonna take off here. I hope you guys have a good rest of your weekend. And I'll see you guys next weekend on here on One Up Tech. Thank you again, guys. Thank you for coming by. Thank you for watching and engaging with me. I love talking with you guys and talking about computers. I love, like, other than my own personal streaming platform, Dirty Red Panda. Um, Here I feel like I geek out a lot more with when it comes to about computers and stuff, and I just I just love it. I just love talking with other geeks about that love computers as well, or anybody that's just wanting to know more about computers. I love sharing the knowledge. I don't gatekeep any of this stuff because I learned it from other people as well. And I hope I was able to inspire you guys with some ideas and things that you didn't know about. Well, now you know. So, um, yeah, we'll be here. If you guys are interested in getting consultation, Um, One Up Tech. Well, actually, one-oneuptech.com. Let me show you guys. Let me show you guys before I get off here. This is our website right here. So right here, one dash uptech.com, and it's gonna get you here. You can see our contact information. You can get in touch with us, as well as here is our company email as well. And to book a consultation service is right here. Book an appointment with us. And we'll be able to talk more about, your computer needs. If it's just, if you're planning to upgrade your hardware, we could talk about it. We could make an assessment on your computer, see what upgrades we can do, as well as if you're going to just build a whole new computer, you know, we could help you with that. Or if you're buying a new computer and you want us to see if this computer suits you, like it doesn't even have to be a computer from us, if you're looking into a new computer and you want some more insight on that stuff and make sure that this computer meets your needs, you could talk to us. And if you're planning to make a new custom computer, you could talk to us as well. You don't have to commit into building computer with us, even if it's just building a compatible parts list for you that works and fits your needs. We could do that for you. you know so again, it's one-uptech.com, and you can find our website here. uh we are planning to update it here soon with a lot more things, like with reviews and stuff, because people have used our services, and we're just trying to get those reviews on here. So, um, but yeah, we're updating it little by little here, and you know, just let us know. If you want to even shoot us an email, we can even you know discuss through email. If that's how you guys want it, or chat. You could chat too. You can send us a message, and we'll try to reply as quick as possible to you guys. So yeah, this is our website, and if you want to book anything with us, you know where to go. But anyways, guys, have a good one. I'll see y'all later. And probably the next stream is probably gonna be either next Saturday or Sunday. I'm not 200% sure. My schedule has been crazy and stuff, so hopefully I have something more consistent. And I like to normally do them in the mornings, but today, this weekend, it was crazy for me. So I'm just glad I was able to talk to you guys today. Um and managed to get something positive out of here for you guys. And but yeah, have a good one, guys. You know, see you next time. Let's see here. We're gonna end this right now.